How are you doing? Tired? Yeah. Weekend, right? Coming up.
Good morning. This is the Friday morning, March 28th, 2026, or 25, meeting of the Board of Commissioners. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Riddell.
Here.
Commissioner Moore.
Here.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Here.
We have a quorum. Under resolutions number 1, investments, there were none. Number 2, appropriations.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 3, transfers.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 4, advances, repayments, there were none. Number 5, requisitions.
We have 3 pages this morning. This is page 1. Page 2, please, Victor. Page 3.
Move to approve pages 1, 2, and 3.
Second?
Discussion.
Yeah, let's go back to page 2. Item number 814. You'll see that we run ads in the paper and the Chronicle Telegram and others in regards to the VIA program. We notice an uptick when people are writing, and what we've had public hearings or public meetings and roundtable discussions this week at the Transportation Center, and getting the word out seems to be some of the things that was discussed. But fantastic meetings this week. But we have to continually tell people how and what services VIA provides. That's my segue into page 3. Please, Victor. Items number 823 and 824. I'd rather address it now than have someone call us later. This is in regards to our county newsletter. Today, as we all know, the Chronicle Telegram is reducing their print to 4 days instead of 3. It's very difficult for public officials to get the message out on the services that we do provide. For example, anyone who's watching, I do have gentlemen coming in today after our meeting to talk about, this is the final week to file your with the Board of Revisions in regards to your property taxes. And that's what our newsletter does. We educate the public with over, I think, 118,000 households. Well, when the Chronicle Telegram and the Journal doesn't even touch a third of that, how do you get the public to be aware on the services and how to fight your property tax values? How do you, and I feel that this is a necessary expense to educate the public on what we do provide to the public. When I ran long ago, and you still run today, people don't even know what a commissioner does. They don't know what the county provides. And I feel that's our responsibility to educate the public on what's available to you in times of need and the services that we provide. So that, I just want to at least point that out. And I thought I'd promote our little newsletter, And, but in this newsletter for this month that people should have had, talks about the reappraisal process, the Board of Revisions, and frequently asked questions. And so I believe that's a service that we provide, and I wanted to at least bring that up.
Right.
So.
And those articles were crafted with the participation of the auditor's department. They helped us craft and reviewed the final draft before it prints. So, we want to make sure that to the people that there's consistency between what we tell them and what another department might tell them. And so, as our administrator would say, that's part of the process of breaking down the silos. So.
Yeah, and also to help offset these costs, we work with the Lorain County Visitors Bureau. That's why you'll see promotions of other activities in there. Well, that's your bed tax dollars. And they'll reimburse us usually halfway through the year in regards to those expenses that we've have spent throughout the year. So just so, you know, when people see those numbers, I want them to realize that we do get reimbursed quite a bit of it back from the Visitors Bureau and your bed tax dollars. So,
And I'll play Dave Greenspan. He's at NOACA this
Oh.
morning. So I won't say, hey, Dave, do you want to add to that? But I will do it for him. And that is that during the strategic process, part of the feedback that we got from the several thousands of people that participated was that they truly did not understand what we did do and what we didn't. They thought that the county had control over things we did not, and that some of the things that we did have control, they didn't know the services and so forth that were provided. So the commissioner's correct that not everybody, they understood their city government, they understood their schools, they didn't understand their county government. So I think they thought it was just an appeals process for if you didn't like what was going on in your city, call the county. So at the end of the day, we needed to, try and educate to that, and the newsletter serves that purpose. And then secondly, the people noted that they did not believe that the county government had the ability or the structure to help take the county in a different direction that they thought we needed to go. And so part of the newsletter is to show them that we're doing what we do. There'll be an article, sometime later that says we finished what we said we were going to do. And to continually turn over what's in the plan, so that people can understand that we plan to do something, we start doing it, and we finish doing it, and hopefully we'll build enough trust in the county government that our employees can get the respect for the hard work that they do, as well as the electeds can be held to the litmus test of what are you doing with your elected jobs. So. We think the newsletter is working well. We've had very little negative feedback, except for political feedback. But if you'll notice, there's no political articles. The 5 places that Commissioner Moore went last week will not show up in the newsletter. Okay.
no,
And so, and he's absolutely correct about the communications. 2 years ago, when I went through the commissioner training thing, they were very clear that the only way to have a true path to success for county government is that we have to communicate with the constituents. And we can't call for the constituents to get their information just from the newspapers and the media. We need to communicate directly. So at the end of the day, the newsletter is serving those purposes, and we enjoy any feedback.
and that's a good, and in regards to the other marketing with the VIA program, what we talked about, like you said, about the fiefdoms, and what we found out with the VIA program is that people are starting to trust each other by working with the mayors of Elyria, working with the mayors of Lorain. What we're finding out and this is just something, a byproduct, which is we're starting to, everyone's putting party differences aside, and everyone's working together, and everyone sees success, and that success is VIA. And we feel that by promoting VIA, which you wouldn't think this, it's knocking down those barriers, it's knocking down those fiefdoms, and I think people are starting to trust working together, that we're all there for the same reason, which is educating and helping those that need it. So thank you.
Thank you. Call for the vote.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 6, travel.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 7, bills.
Page 2, Victor.
I guess not.
Page 3. And page 4.
Motion to approve. Pages
Second.
1 through 4.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 8.
There's no personal summary sheet. I'm trying to stop her
There
from
is
reading it.
not.
So do you
Are
want
you
to?
going in executive session?
No.
No?
No.
I just wanted to savor all that.
Well, thank you. B, I didn't receive forms at all. Do you have any
No.
forms? Okay, so there's no public comment on agenda items. Is there any old business? No? Board business, number 9, approve and waive the reading of the county commissioners meeting minutes of March 25th of 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Number 10, authorize President of Lorain County Board of Commissioners to execute the documents pertaining to Mercy Health, Lorain Hospital versus City of Lorain, U.S. District Court, ND, Ohio Case 124, CV 2265. Commissioners is not alleged to have engaged in any wrongdoing, nor is the board responsible for any remuneration associated with the settlement of the litigation, just a signatory is required.
So
I'm
moved.
happy to go ahead and, sorry, give me the motion.
So
Yeah.
moved.
Second.
Second.
Discussion.
I'm happy to go ahead and provide some context to this. First of all, I just want to say this suit is not quite settled yet, and we are trying to work out the details of the settlement to a degree where there is no disparagement of the parties. So any comment that would be made from this bench here is going to be simply limited to everything that was just said, recited specifically from the agenda. As was said, the county is not responsible for any remuneration, and we're not admitting default. And that's really all we need to know. All we need to do at this point is get a signatory, and that's it.
I wish all those suits were that quick and easy.
We did have a magistrate, well, I will say, because I think this is understood, we did have a magistrate who worked very hard
Okay.
to make sure that the matter did end up getting settled. We did spend about 15 to 16 hours in a courtroom at one point.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, boy.
That's about all I want to say, though.
Wow.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Thank
Oh.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
11, amend Resolution 25-103 adopted February 14th to 25, authorizing the county administrator to have authority to approve and authorize payments from Lorain County healthcare vouchers. This amendment is to reflect the addition of Anthem Vision.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Dell.
Aye.
Sanitary Engineer 14, accept sanitary sewers for public use in Phase 1 and 2 of the Del Webb Hickory Green Subdivision, Pullet Homes of Ohio LLC, the developer in Columbia Township.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Dell.
Aye.
Under Transit, 13, submit federal grant applications with FTA and other federal agencies for fiscal year 26, transportation assistance grants. Authorize county administrator to execute and file applications on behalf of Lorain County Transit with the Federal Transit Administration and other federal agencies to aid in the financing of planning, capital, and operating assistance projects required by the U.S. Department of Transportation or other federal agencies or the Ohio Department of Transportation for the purposes of Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, including an affirmative minority business policies in connection with the program of projects procurement needs.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes, I see our director from Transit is here. Does Pam want to have anything to add, or
It was only if you had any questions that I was here to answer.
on the next 3 items? Okay.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
Number 14, authorize various filings of applications with the Ohio Department of Transportation for fiscal year 26, transportation assistance grants. Authorize county administrator to execute and file proposals to aid in the financing of capital, operating, and planning assistance projects.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes, I'm just wondering, Pam, this seems very open-ended. Is this just giving you full authority to apply for grants?
Yes, we have the ability to apply for any type of grant opportunities that are out there, whether it could be a discretionary grant that for any type of services that we may look at doing. So it's open-ended so that we do have the ability to apply for any type of state grants.
Okay.
Have you seen any grants that are big ones you can disclose what you're looking at?
We normally will have an allocation that we receive every year from the state, which we would use for our operating expenses. There is one grant that we have received funding from, and which we were awarded $125,000 last year to help with the microtransit pilot project. So there is a potential of applying again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything further? Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Dow?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
15, approve Lorain County Transit's updated Title VI program for the 2025-2028 and submit to the Federal Transportation Administration. This program requires that no person shall, on the ground of race, color, or national origin, be excluded from participation in, denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any program of activity receiving federal financial assistance from the FTA.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Dow?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Under the engineer, authorize county engineer to execute consulting services agreement with Euthnistics, I think, Inc., in the amount of $25,290 for the load rating analysis of various federal aid bridges in Lorain County. County has a total of 120 structures that are federal aid eligible, meaning that they have a span width of 20 feet or greater. 116 of these federal aid structures have been load rated by in-house staff, leaving only 4 truss-style bridges that require outside expertise. Unithics Inc. will perform the load rating analysis of the following bridges: Bursley Road Bridge 0227, Dean Road Bridge 0103, Orphanage Bridge 2092, Holly Road Bridge 0823, and this will be paid from the professional services account.
So moved,
Second.
Discussion.
I guess.
Yes. You want to address that, Sean?
Thank you, Commissioners. This is just one of the federal requirements for us to update all of our federal defined bridges. That's anything over 20 feet or more in span. These particular ones are pony trusses, or there's the one through Pratt, I believe, is Dean Road on here. Yes, I believe Commissioner Riddell's familiar with Dean Road. But yeah, so those structures are a little bit more difficult to load rate through the program that we have. So it's not feasible or not really responsible for us to go out and try to get other expensive programs just for a couple bridges. So that's what we're doing here.
I would have thought Dean Road, it's relatively newly renovated at $1.4 million. I would figure the load rating's still pretty stable on that.
It is, but they continue to add additional vehicles for us to load rate for. So in order for us to run those new vehicles, it's not that new vehicles are necessarily being created, but there are different vehicles that the state of Ohio previously had us do versus what now the Federal Highway Administration wants us to have done.
Very good. We have one citizen who would like to see to it that there's a load rating of no more than 10 motorcycles at one time on Dean Road.
Duly noted.
Anything further? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye. 17,
approve and enter in contract with K.E. McCartney and Associates in the amount of $112,352 to provide construction administration and inspection services for LOR CR 53-202 project in the city of Elyria and townships of Elyria and Carlisle. 80% will be funded by ODOT, and OPWC grant will be the remaining 20%.
So, second.
Discussion.
Yes, Sean, is this,
John, is this a textbook case for you to talk about issue 2?
exactly.
Any opportunity to talk about issue 2 is a good one. Yeah, this is an issue 2 project that will be the resurfacing of Westridge Road from Russia Road to State Route 113. So it's actually going to be, it's a combined project with the city as well. So we have an MOU with the city to run this project as the lead. It is the city of Elyria, that is. So it's a great benefit to the area, to those residents. That road is certainly in need. We were able to team up OPWC funds on this project with federal funds, so that way we actually have no local money coming out. We are able to do that with OPWC funds as well, which is one of the great benefits of it, in addition to using it on roads or bridges that don't qualify for federal funding.
Yep, and that's, issue 2, if you vote yes, it does not increase your taxes. You vote no, it does not decrease your taxes. But if you vote no, it's gonna hurt us for these type of projects. We would not be able to get these, correct? Yeah.
That is correct,
This is
yes.
the
Yeah,
cheap
it's,
commercial plug,
It's
that's all.
a no-brainer as far as we're concerned, but we think it'll have great support, and thank you for getting the word out.
We hope so.
Anything further? Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
All right,
18, approve and enter in subdivider agreement with Lake Murray LLC for Orchard Meadow Subdivision Number 1, Elyria Township. Subdivider has submitted proof of ownership, evidence of payment of taxes, certificate of insurance, and engineer's estimate of construction costs with approved engineering plans and specifications. Subdivider agrees to bear all costs and expenses of the improvements contemplated by the subdivider agreement and pay all plan review, inspection, and testing fees.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
all right,
19, approve and enter in a contract with K. McCartney and Associates in the amount of $49,750 to provide construction administration and inspection services for D3 Safe Routes to School project in Sheffield Township. This will be funded by 100% by ODOT.
So moved.
second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher?
Well, anything else you wanna add, Sean, on that, or no? Okay.
No, this one is 100% ODOT. OPWC is still a great thing.
Anything further? Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
County Administrator?
Don't have any written comments, but as we looked at our agenda, in transit, when we go out this year for grant proposals and write our information, we've got so much data that Karen and Pam and VIA have had. It should absolutely help us when we're going out to get grants, because we've proven if we can do it right, then and get the combination of cities and counties and businesses doing it, I think that honestly, that proposals or these proposals that we're gonna put together are gonna just blow some of these federal and state officials away if they believe us, because sometimes government is not believable. So we've got to make those numbers believable as we send them in, because I don't think, quite honestly, there's any county in the state of Ohio that has looked at transit like we have, other than give me the money and we'll ride around the buses with nobody in it. They continue to do the same old, let's get double buses because we want, you go down to the health campus and you see all those buses, those double train buses down there. Doesn't make any difference what time I go down, I see the buses, they're maybe even a quarter fill of all that communication and all that money that's being spent on the Opportunity Highway or any of the roads down there. They're trying, they're doing the best, but honestly, what Karen and Pam and you all have allowed VIA and everybody else doing, we do it right. I think that, let's hope it works. You gotta realize that the customer probably has to pay more than $2, $1 in and $1 out. We can't cover that cost forever. But really important. To add to that, we're expanding in our office, the administration. We're going to have the engineer's office. We're going to have the community development and the administration staff that understand, all of us that understand county roads and township roads. We're accumulating in one spot. There's traffic counts, turning radiuses, and all that throughout the whole county on roads going into the state roads. What we're going to do is create a map that is movable. It's movable from the standpoint as we get more data, it'll be basically the whiteboard. It's not, and we're going to make it rudimentary to start with. But what we're looking at is where the housing subdivisions are going in versus the sewers versus everything else that's happening in the whole county. There's pieces and parts of this all over, but we're going to try to put it in one format, and then once we get it to that point, Todd and his IT department will take it to the next level where we can actually move it to a document that we can move. You can add subdivisions, you can do this, add more traffic data. And then Dan Gross showed me today, he went back to the archives, and he says, well, this happened in Avon Lake in 1966, an aerial picture. And this is where we are, and I don't know what year was it, Teresa? I didn't have it.
There was we have 3 maps, so he took 1800, we have 2000, and then we have 2025, and he scaled it all, and we try to figure out. Yeah, there was roads that weren't there before, and it was all farm fields.
You might want to know why the crazy administrator's doing this kind of stuff, but you know what? Sometimes you go down to Columbus and you talk to the Future Fund people, you talk to the legislative people that are down there beyond just Gail, Nathan, and Joe over in Lorain. They don't believe the growth. They don't believe what we really have done. And if you show them in pictures and you can document this kind of stuff, we can go a lot further than what we're going now. Remember, we're Lorain County, and they're not used to funding stuff, let's say, in a lot of money north of Columbus. And we are somebody to reckon with here. And we want to continue with your support and the administration and everybody out here to grow Lorain County with everybody's help, and to grow the communities around Lorain County. That completes my report today.
Well, that's good. I have 3 things on my request list for the administrator, so. Number 1, April 1st is next week, and that doesn't mean April Fool's Day, but that means it's about time that we get a report from the manager of our healthcare program for the employees as to how 24 ended up, and they have their statistical analysis of how the claims went and how our coverage is doing. And I don't know if this is the year or if it's next year. I can't remember when the contract is up with our administrator, but at some point we're going to need to continue to be educated so that we can go to market and make sure that we're doing. That was the last phase. So just want to make sure that it stays on the table. It's been quiet. Everybody must be getting their health care coverage, which is good, but that doesn't mean that the project has stopped. We've got the last phase to head towards. At this juncture also, we've had a request, so we should be getting with Don Romanchuk and put the administrative team together. We've got a request for public sewer access in southeastern Lorain County. There's approximately 700 acres, which is, there's about 1,100 homes in the long-term plan there. And we've got to decide where the line is between the public bringing service to an area and what part is the obligation of the developer. So it's another phase of the high growth area. So we'll want to set up a meeting and take a look at that. It involves Boone Road and that general area down in that part of the county. So
Boone Road is up by.
And then kudos to the sheriff. Yesterday's news, Lorain County made the news, the most wanted indicator, and I was happy to get a text last night that says that he has been caught and is being detained in Lorain County Jail. So kudos to the new sheriff and the team and the rest of law enforcement that worked on that, but it's nice to get that kind of credit.
I do have one question.
Sure.
On the southeastern, did you mean up towards the northeast corner with up by North Ridgeville at the golf course?
I think the very southeast, the eastern side.
Columbia
to the-
Station?
Yeah.
Columbia Station down that neck of the woods.
Well, Columbia Station, I believe, is Northeast Ohio, is got they come out. Here, Sean, help me here.
Any information additionally you might have, we currently have sewers going down Boone Road. So if we could just get a little bit more information after
Yeah.
the meeting as to where.
I received it just this week, and so I will forward it on, but because we were having a meeting, I thought I would get it out there in on the public plate, but,
Absolutely, yeah, that area is, been getting sewers, put in the last several years now, and I believe we do have a consultant on board looking at the potential growth in the sewer plan for that
Good.
township and Eaton Township.
well, I just wanted to seize the one opportunity where I knew more about sewers than the administrator. For one day.
I want to add to the healthcare side, and Karen's kicking me, but we are working on some additional cost savings to our plan. Some of us are facing things that we never thought we would face, but quite honestly, because of that, it really has opened up some further doors out there to help all 2,000 employees that are out there. So we are doing that, and we're hopeful that when Elise and Karen and I and everybody, our team from Minuteman and TrueScripts get involved, we'll have another announcement. But it is pretty exciting for a few, but exciting for all of us if we're able to pull this off and make it work. But the report on April 1st would be, I would assume, written or verbal?
Oh, I'm just saying it's April 1st, so somewhere in April, all that data should be available that we can review 24 and see how our trends were going.
We can do that, and also, if you choose, we could also do that as well as have them come and make a presentation so that
Absolutely.
the public can see just exactly what this board is doing, not only for our employees, but the cost savings that it's doing for their taxpayers, for their tax dollars.
Yeah. Well said.
That's it, okay.
That's it.
Next Tuesday, 3:30, we'll have a commissioners meeting, which is the first hearing on the CDB chip. And then at 4:30, we'll also have a meeting for the first hearing on the Foster Ditch. Board correspondence.
Move to waive the reading of the board correspondence.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Rowe?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
New business.
New business. I'm glad that Rob Berner is here with us today. I want to add to the agenda something that it came up this week, but we were not able to get it in time for the public disclosure yesterday. But the 911 center has experienced, with the age of the HVAC there, has experienced a couple of outages for the HVAC in the equipment room, which generates, plenty of heat and needs to be actually cooled 12 months out of the year. And so as we approach the summer, there's been some concern by staff and leadership at 911 that should this happen, during the winter, we just opened up the door and let the cold air in, and nature helped us out. But that's not gonna work well in July and August, so we don't know how fast we can move, but for some reason, the building was never designed for it has backup power and backup stations and backup everything, but it doesn't have backup cooling for the equipment room. And without that cooling, the equipment overheats and starts to malfunction, and that's just not acceptable at 911. So we have a resolution today that Teresa, you want to read the part for it, that allows us to hire the consultant to move in and globally take care of that equipment room and make sure that the equipment we have is sufficient, and then design the backup equipment, however that process works, so that we don't have another outage of the cooling system and force ourselves into a real problem at 911.
Entering in a contract with Dank Associates, Inc., Cleveland, in the amount of $23,820 to provide MEP consulting engineering services for the Lorain County 911 facility Burns Road HVA system. The current HVA system for the original build-out does not serve the demands of Lorain County 911 needs. 100% backup air conditioning system is needed, requiring MEP consulting services. And then this will be paid out of the consulting services account.
So, at 911, right?
At 911, yeah.
Okay,
Yes, name.
so moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Discussion. Rob, do you want to add to what we've talked about?
Thank you, Commissioner. Yes, our department, along with Director Gross of Facilities, has basically been working on this for a number of months. We've experienced a couple of outages of the HVAC system, the cooling system in particular, in our server room. Our server room basically takes care of our phones, our radios, and our data system. So if that server room goes down, we're in a lot of trouble. We're basically out of business. And we've already implemented an alarm system to let us know. But just to give you an example, back in February, we had a inducer go out, and the HVAC and the air conditioner did not work. Now, it was 10 degrees outside, but inside that room, it went up to 90 degrees within an hour and a half. And anything over 95 degrees, the servers start to shut down. So we worked with Mr. Gross. He brought in a consultant who is the proposal before you today so that we can have a backup system. This is only for the server room and the UPS room, so it's not for the entire center. If the air conditioning goes down the center, our people will still be able to work, but without the server room and the backup system in there, we'd be in a lot of jeopardy.
Thank you.
And we had discussions about this, but the other HVAC systems are getting dated as well. Are you guys pursuing that as well?
We are, Mr. Gallagher, we're working on getting proposals for that. That is county buildings, so those aren't critical systems to the operation of 911. So we have to have a discussion with the commissioners as far as who's responsible for those systems.
Financially.
Sounds like the damn landlord.
That's how tenants talk. Okay.
Call the vote.
Anything further? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
Is there anything further under new business?
Well, we don't have any requests for public comment, but I see we have a visit from our new county prosecutor. Did you have something that you wanted to share with us today?
No, I was just here to observe. I hadn't made it over here yet, so I thought it'd be
Nobody can hear
nice
you.
to come over.
I know, that's okay.
Thanks
Well,
for
thank
coming
you.
out.
Cool, thank you.
So, very good, and maybe we'll get a chance to reciprocate and come and watch.
Lee,
Or
can
not.
you make arrangements for that?
Okay.
Jeff, you're on your own.
There being no further business, the meeting is adjourned for today.
Canceled.
Holy, we just undid everything we just did.
That's funny.
These ones are just to sign, as
Gotcha.
well as those ones.